Before I say anything, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. Due to the online talk about this game, I'll probably be putting this disclaimer at the beginning of any video essays I do on this game, so get used to it. If you are one of the people who hated The Last of Us 2, this video is not for you. I don't want to see any comments about the quality of this game overall, as this is not what the video is about. If you want to whine about how much you hated it, there are many other places you can do that. My comment section is not one of them. With that being said, in this video I will be going over what, in my opinion, is the best scene from this game. Now let me clarify that it is not my favorite scene. It's definitely one of my favorites, but I have quite a few that I like more. However, I do think it is the best scene in terms of how it is executed, because they did a really cool thing that I haven't seen before. What scene am I talking about? Well, let me explain.
Stop there and let me correct it. I wanna live a life from a new perspective.
At the end of Act 1, you go into the aquarium while playing as Ellie. As Ellie, you are forced to kill a dog as well as two of Abby's friends, Mel and Owen. You have no choice in this because this is Ellie's story, not yours. You are simply guiding it along. Once that is done, she has a bit of an anxiety attack realizing that Mel was pregnant when she killed her, and then goes back to the theater. After a short scene with Jesse and Tommy, Tommy leaves the room and you soon hear commotion from outside. You check it out, Jesse gets shot, and you are confronted by Abby. Then the screen goes dark and you are thrusted into Act 2. At the end of Act 2, you re-experience all of these events, but from Abby's perspective, and then have a boss fight with Ellie. So now that you're caught up on what scene I'm referring to, I want to talk about why I think it's so great.
Stop there and let me correct it. I wanna live a life from a new perspective.
Jonathan Harrison made a really good video about the game, and in that video he presents the argument that the main theme of the game is about perspective and understanding that there are two sides to every story. And while I disagree that this is the core theme, as I feel a more major one would be the familial bond and the links of what you will do for the people you love, it's undeniable that perspective is very important. It's structural. The entire premise of the first two acts is that you are experiencing the same 3 days but from two separate perspectives. The confrontation isn't even the only time you witness the exact same scene but from different lenses, as this is done to a lesser scale with Joel's death. However, nothing establishes perspective more than the endpoint of both main acts, and part of that is due to who it makes you root for.
Stop there and let me correct it. I wanna live a life from a new perspective.
With Joel's death, while you do understand Abby's motives in the Act 2 cut of it, you're still going to be rooting for Ellie. People frame this scene as the game trying to make you forgive Joel's killer, but that's not the point. The point of this is to give you insight into the motives of the character so that you understand her more while you're playing as her. But you're not meant to forgive her. She's in the wrong here. She murdered someone and traumatized an, at the time, innocent person in the process. You're gonna be rooting for Ellie no matter where the cameras are placed. In the confrontation scene, however, they are both partially in the wrong, so your opinions on the situation are altered depending on which version of the scene you watch. As Ellie, your revenge quest just reached another dead end, you have the guilt of having just killed a pregnant woman, your friend just got shot, and now Abby is here threatening your uncle. You are going to root for Ellie in this scene, but can you see it from Abby's perspective? You just got off of a very emotionally draining day after having barely managed to escape the island with Lev, only to come back and see that your dog, an acquaintance, and your best friend have been killed by the immune girl from Jackson. You're angry, and that much is justified even if your actions aren't. So when you play through the scene as Abby, you're gonna be more inclined to root for her. A very simple perspective shift manages to completely flip how you feel about it, and I think that's very cool.
Stop there and let me correct it. I wanna live a life from a new perspective.
So, who do I root for overall? I do have a side, but the fact of the matter is, that's not the point. Because even though overall I was rooting for one character more while rewatching these scenes, there's no right answer here, and there's not supposed to be. They are both problematic, they are both doing bad things, but there's also sympathy there for both of them. That's why this scene is so good. It's getting you to root for one person while still understanding the other. It's not clear-cut like the Joel scene, and that's intentional. Whether or not you like a game, it is undeniable that there was a lot of care put into this scene, even down to where the camera is placed.
Jesse?
And it gives a very good sense of perspective on both a literal sense and in a storytelling sense.
Stop there and let me correct it. I wanna live a life from a new perspective.
Okay, Okay, time to wrap this up. The confrontation scene does a really good job at shifting perspective and having you root for a completely different person by simply altering how you experience the events a tiny bit. I played a game where you're literally playing as 3 separate characters the entire time and never did anything like this happen, so it was really cool to see it unfold. There's a good chance that I'll talk more about this game in the future, so that's something to look forward to, I guess. If you liked this type of video, I will link my video essays playlist in the description because I have a lot more like it. Stay safe, happy Pride Month, goodbye.